Hi guys, it's way overdue for a garden update, and we'll start here in the herb garden. Some things are doing really well, other things are really struggling, like some of these Chinese herbs that are a bit diseased. And these lettuces I planted off weeks ago haven't grown hardly at all since I planted them, so it's just very nutrient poor soil here, but it's still providing the herbs that we need for cooking and some greens for salads and stuff. Especially this Mexican tarragon still going really beautifully, and the sage is taking off there, and basil. So we're happy for that, but it definitely could be doing better. So I'll definitely be adding a lot more nutrition to this bed for next season. Well, this is my embarrassment section because these tomatoes are just so diseased and so sad and need some serious TLC, but it's got a pretty good tomato there, whether we'll manage to harvest it or not. And there's certainly plenty of new ones growing. There's a lot of tomatoes on it, but yeah, we had a lot of rain, like a week of constant rain, and the disease just took off, and I haven't really had time to try and fight it or even just water them a bit more. So that's the very sad state of the potted tomato. Here in our main garden, the nasturtiums have just gone crazy there, and our tomatoes here are in not much better state than the other ones. They're definitely growing a lot and spreading out, but I haven't ever got around to staking them properly, so they're just kind of growing in amongst the weeds, and also have quite a bit of disease happening there closer to the ground. But I mean, considering their lack of love and care, we're still getting a good crop of tomatoes growing here. I think I'm going to be, oh, there's heaps everywhere. There. These ones here have been very slow growing. I'm guessing it's because of the nematodes. This one here may not be as resistant as the other one, but there's quite a good crop of tomatoes. Heaps of flowers on these ones. Not much leaves, but plenty of flowers and fruit, so I suppose that's a good thing. Very sad eggplants. I'm showing you all these very sad things, but still producing despite their state of things. Over here, this was like my salad patch that I planted rocket and beetroot and all these kind of things that I plan to harvest the leaves. Well, the only thing that actually managed to grow was all these lettuces. So I'm going to weed this patch, and there's a couple of things. A bit of parsley that's come up by itself there, but yeah, I'll weed it back and start again with some fresh seeds. I've brought some new seeds that should be a bit more viable than the old seeds I was using. This patch is a great example of the difference between using weed mat and shade cloth. So this was the parsnip patch that I planted, and over this area here I put weed mat for 3 weeks until the parsnip germinated. And yes, I've still got weeds here, but nothing in comparison to that side where I just put shade cloth. So lesson learnt, definitely weed mat the whole way, and it's definitely worthwhile doing to give the parsnip a good start. But we had pretty good germination by the looks of things. So I'm really happy with that. Just got to face those weeds. Over here we have broccoli. I finally found broccoli to plant. So that's doing okay, but there are signs of disease here, moldy kind of something. I really need to look up and see what it is and see if there's something that I can do to fight it. It's when you turn it over, you can see like spores underneath, so that's something that needs some urgent attention. Cauliflower are doing amazing. I just have to show you, maybe not that one, over here. So you can step in here carefully. That beautiful cauliflower. I'm so happy with that. Although I can see lots of poo, which means that I need to do a bit of an insect cull. But yeah, I've been amazed really about how little insect damage that we've had there. I may actually even pick that one very soon because I don't want it to go yellow. I'm just going to break the leaves over the top of cauliflower. That just keeps it nice and white. If the sun gets to it, it'll go yellow. These are the Savoy cabbages. Still starting to form the centres there. Hopefully that'll keep going. I really want to look at this one here too. Oh, it's another beautiful, beautiful cauliflower there. Really excited about that. So that's the cauliflower and the broccoli. Over here we have just some silver beet or rainbow chard. And these are broccoli that just came up from last year. I've already picked some off it. I'm going to pick these ones as well. So they're just, you know, your broccoli sprouts rather than like a broccoli head. They're still tasty. And that will just keep, see all these little ones here, they'll just keep growing. And we'll be able to just keep harvesting them. Oh, I broke that one off. Yeah, so long as the plant survives. So I really like broccoli for that. Over here we have our garlic, which I'm going to put the water on today. You can see I didn't really put the mulch thick enough. There's a lot of weeds that have come through. But the garlic itself is looking pretty good. Actually looks like I've had some kind of bird or animal digging through here. Look at that. Everything's kind of scratched out of the way and bent over. Very strange. Like someone's stealing my garlic. Anyway, so that's the garlic. Over here was our potato patch that really did nothing. And we do have one new one that's come through. But over here was the ones that we had, the ones that we did have come through. And I picked off one potato already. There's one tiny one, but it's really not doing anything special. I think the rain as well. So this one did a lot of damage, so they're not really doing that well. And that one in that corner got overwhelmed by the nasturtium. Corn, it's got quite a bit of rust on it again after the rain, but I don't know how that's really doing. I had a look today to see how the kernels are forming, and they're forming but they're very small, so it probably needs some more fertilizing or something, but we'll see how that goes. And now down to the chicken yard. Okay, so here we are in the first gate of the chicken yard, and we have some tomatoes that have just sown themselves and some white eggplant that we were given. It's a bit curling around, so I'm not sure why that is, but I do need to separate them all and replant them. Here are Sugarless Cabbages. These are the prize of the garden at the moment. They are just absolutely huge. I don't think I've ever seen such big Sugarless Cabbages, and the only thing I can attribute it to is all that extra rain that we had for that week. Definitely watering. I have been watering more as well, and that seems to really help these guys grow superbly. I mean, that's just like a round cabbage, it's so big. So that's really cool. Over here we have our zucchini. Now, unfortunately with the zucchini, I've had hardly any male flowers. Like, looking here, I can't see any male flowers coming up. I did get one the other day, which I was able to pollinate this one with. And I think maybe this one down the bottom got pollinated as well. But what I've been doing is just harvesting these little female ones and using them. And they've been great as well. They're a bit smaller, but they still taste delicious. Here we have warrigal greens, self-seeded, carrots that never came up, and the carrots that did come up. So they're doing really well. And more cabbages. Over here we have a gourd that's just planted itself. Don't know how it's going to go. It'll probably get diseased if we have too many misty mornings. Got to show him here. We have a lettuce that I planted. Some more gourds. This is amaranth. No, not amaranth. Queensland arrowroot. I was using the leaves and stuff here and as mulch, and there must have been enough root here for one to grow, so I've just left that there for now. Kale that hasn't really done that well, and I think that's a cress of some description. I can't remember which one, and that's still growing alright. I don't know if you can hear me above the neighbour mowing, but this is our celery. But I mean, it looks beautiful, beautiful leaves, beautiful green, but the celery itself is hollow, which is lack of water. So I mean, this isn't a wicking bed where it's had plenty of water, and then the soil's still lovely and moist. So I don't know, I'm about ready to give up on trying to grow celery as celery. I mean, we can use it for green drinks, but not as actual celery. I did do a clip on the ginger harvest. It wasn't as great as I hoped, but definitely better than anything I've done in the previous year, so an improvement. Here are my baby chickens all grown up, but their mum is still mothering them. They're so cute at night when they still try and hide underneath her. It's impossible. So here we have what was supposed to be a potato patch. It's turned into a pumpkin patch. And we have kale and pawpaw there. I was about to say not a single sign of potato, but look, we have our first potato coming through. So maybe there's hope of more of that. Some of Mum's pomelo bush, beautiful pomelos growing there, a bit like a grapefruit, but a bit dry. The flesh falls apart really nicely. And sweet as well, it's quite tasty. Pawpaw, sweet potato, still haven't harvested that. And the snow peas have recovered after the chickens decimated them. I didn't have quite enough protection. They stuck their heads through and ate everything from both sides. So just like they have done for these eggplants here, completely eaten everything that could be eaten, including I think there's little seedlings that I had grown underneath, so little pests. This is where we had the pile of horse manure. I've spread it out. It's quite thick still, so I'm going to spread it out a lot thinner, and I'm going to the other celery, and we also have beautiful sugar snap peas growing here that desperately need a bit of harvesting by the looks of things. So that's growing really well there. So that's about it, but before I go I thought I'll show my new addition, a little shade house I picked up for $20. It needs a bit of a clean, but I'm going to use that to start seedlings off and bits and pieces like that.